You know, guys, T-Tech may watch some terrible fucking TV shows, but the classics will always be classics. And a lot of times, shows that are really good end up with a lot of fucking spinoffs. You'd be surprised. Sometimes we don't notice these. But today, we're going to take a look at TV shows with the most spinoffs, man.
That's right.
Oh, outstanding. Now, some of these are obvious.
Been a lot of shows, man. It's a lot of shows that have had a lot of spinoffs that you may not realize were spinoffs of other shows, man.
Oh, most definitely. Let's take a look at some of these. Right off the top, Jag. A really unfortunate name for a show, to be honest. You know what I mean?
I always turned Jag off.
Yeah, that's what it says. All those NCIS ones of any of those cop procedurals, they make fucking 10 of them. So if you spin it off from this, that automatically puts a substandard show like Jag high on a list right here. You know what I mean? But this isn't the kind of spin-offs I'm looking for, Phil. Let's keep going. Chicago Fire still on, and yet somehow they are one of the most popular shows to spin off. And as far as I can tell, it's just for like, here's a cop one and a hospital
PD,
one.
Med, Justice,
it's flashing lights for fucking anything that happens in Chicago. And again, I feel like this is a weak entry in the list, Phil. You know what I mean?
I agree. There are far greater ones in history, for sure.
That's definitely the truth. Let's go on to the next. Okay, Star Trek. All right, here's one that makes sense to me. You know what I mean? Did you ever watch the original? You ever seen them old ones?
The only thing is it's hard to consider them necessarily spin-offs because it's not like it's, you know what I mean? It's not like it's taking one of those characters. It's not like going off and watching Spock in his world.
Right, it's not like Picard started a tomato farm in Napa Valley and that's a series. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's true. Are those really spin-offs?
No. They're just kind of
continuations or
they're
eras
canon.
of
Separate. It's like Ultimate Spider-Man and, the other ones.
Right, that doesn't make it a spin-off. I agree, man. You know what? Star Trek's coming off the fucking list too then, man.
Yeah, that's gotta go,
Let's keep going. Here we go. Law
Right.
and Order. All right, here's another procedural that's been on for fucking ever, dude. You know what I mean?
And like those I would consider maybe spin-offs because oftentimes some people from one of the like Chicago one will go to LA or whatever. I don't know.
But see, I don't know if I buy into that. These shows that are like, oh, it's a spin-off because we did CSI in this city and CSI in this city. You know, the one that goes, yeah, dun, 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 dun. That wasn't the first one. You know what I mean?
No, right. Yeah.
But are they spin-offs or are they, I don't know, continuations? In my mind, to be a spinoff, you have to take some of the cast and put them in a new situation. If it's still a cop procedural, what's the difference?
It's like
you know what I mean?
Show, right? Cleveland Show is a spinoff.
Right, that makes sense because they took
Yeah.
part of a cast and moved them into a new scenario. That makes sense to me. But is CSI that way? Totally different cast? I mean, Ice-T's on it now. And good for him, but goddamn.
I think,
Was
see, but
SVU
sometimes, like I said though, sometimes somebody from like the SVU will show up in Miami and help out them on a case or something. So kind of, but it's not. But you're right because I kind of consider a spinoff focusing on a secondary character from a more popular sitcom.
Right, pulling a supporting character from a show and putting them as the lead in something else. That's a little more traditional look at it. You know what? Fuck it. Law and Order's coming off the list too.
Off the list,
it just puts them in the same universe, basically.
Right. Here we go. Now we're talking about some actual fucking spin-offs.
We're getting into real spin-offs here now.
Yeah. All in the Family. Now, if you guys don't know, All in the Family is one of the most spun-off shows of all time. Not least of which being The Jeffersons.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? Archie Bunker's Place. I think Good Times is what it should have a list here.
Yeah, Maude.
Oh yeah, check Maude. That's right. And then there was Maude. I gotta tell you, that's one of the ones that I remember. And again, it dates me a little bit, I guess. But I remember being a kid, sitting on the floor at my grandparents' house, and they had one of them big ass console TVs. You know what I mean? And there's just like syndicated reruns on during the day. There was no cable, or at least we didn't have it. They didn't have a remote control. They had a clicker. It was like a big fat box
Or
that
you were
made
the
a
remote.
sound. Yeah, there's that too, man. Batteries last about a day and a half, and then you just do the shit by hand. But I can remember back then, All in the Family and the Jeffersons used to come on in a block together, and I watched the fuck out of those back then. And looking at it as an adult, it's kind of interesting because so much of those shows revolved around like political issues and social issues and race issues and economy issues of that time, but they're done so differently than how we would do. You know, Carol O'Connor and Sherman Hemsley were friends in real life, but not on TV because they wanted to be able to talk about those issues. That's why those guys always learn a lesson at the end of the episode. Why don't you stifle there, Edith? Archie, come on, just because he's Mexican. And then Meathead comes in to tell him, you know what I mean?
Hey, you shouldn't
they're
say
all
that
like
about
that, man.
Mexicans, because Mexicans is people too,
That was like a John Travolta impression, man. Sound like Welcome Back, Kotter and shit.
Kind of what Rob Reiner sounded like back then.
I suppose that's fair, man. I gotta tell you, recently on, I think it's Hulu, on one of the things, they put the Jeffersons on there, and I've been watching a few of them recently just because I ain't seen them in so long. And it's so funny. Sherman Hemsley is like real natural in the way that he reads dialogue and all this, and Wheezy can't act. Holy shit, she can't fucking act. She's like she is reading off of a cue card till the very end, far as I can tell. But it's funny because so many of the scenes are just all exactly the same, you know what I mean? And older sitcoms, it was easier setups back then. It was simpler, a simpler time, you know?
You ever see that one, Amen? I think is what it was called with Sherman Hemsley.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. A double spin-off.
Yeah, it was essentially the Jeffersons, but he's a preacher.
But
you know?
now he's a preacher, right? Yeah. It was a spinoff of a spinoff. I've seen a couple of those. But man, them old fucking Jeffersons episodes, it'll be Wheezy at the house and George comes in and she's always like, George, I don't know how to read my lines naturally. I'm not sure what to do with all of this. And it'll be like, oh, come on, Wheezy, don't worry about it. All you gotta do is read the lines like I do. And then the doorbell rings and the young girl's like, don't worry, I'll get it, Miss Jefferson. And then it's the British guy and she's like, it's Mr. Bentley. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry to drop in, Jeffersons. I can't stay. I'm on my way to the UN. I thought I'd tell you this historical fact that you'd be interested in. And then Sherman Hemsley's like, I don't give a fuck about any of that. It doesn't matter what. See, now I sound more like Fred Sanford. That's not quite right, man.
Dummy.
Yeah, right. And then fucking, what's the son's name? Lionel comes in. He's like, oh, come on, Pop. You should listen to what this guy says about history. I'm learning about all this stuff because I'm in college. And he's like, damn it, boy, you should have stayed in school. And he's like, I am in school, Pop. And then he goes off to the bedroom and shit. And then they give Wheezy the joke. And then she can't act. She's like, and then I deliver the one-liner. And they go to commercial, man. You know? God damn. Nonetheless, that's all I have to say about All in the Family, anyway. Up next, Happy Days. Oh, this was another one. Heavily spun off. I saw a bunch of Happy Days in syndication, but I didn't really watch most of these, except for Mork and Mindy. I watched Mork and Mindy. It was on Nick at Night for a long time when I was a kid.
Laverne and Shirley, fucking Joni Loves Chachi.
Is Laverne and Shirley the one where they get the job at the bottling factory and she puts the guy? Okay. Looks like we made it or something like that. I can't remember now.
Interesting little fact here about the picture there of the Happy Days crew. If you notice, the older brother is in the picture there.
Oh,
Only there for one season. Walked up the stairs one night, disappeared, never referenced again.
Never came back down. Never
even talked about again. It's like he never existed.
Is that the guy played by fat Walter Matthau?
No, that's the dad. That's
Tom Bosley.
Tom Bosley, that's right.
You
Pat
uncultured swine. That's Father Dowling, sir.
Oh, my God.
Is that the dude from Arrested Development, the redhead? I don't remember.
Yes, it is.
Ron Howard.
Ron Howard.
That's it.
He was also the kid in the Andy Griffith Show and in 50 movies, and he's the narrator
and also
on
directed several huge movies, like
a million
Apollo
movies.
13.
Dude. T-Tech. Please, sir, if you would. I gotta give you a reading list or something, man. Seriously.
Imagine Entertainment. That's Ron Howard.
Yeah. You know, I'll give you 110 pages where the drop hits the pond, man. You know what I mean?
Not where the lightning hits.
Where the echo lays,
That's right. I would like to watch some old Mork and Mindy's again. That's been a long time, dude. A long time.
Yeah, Mork and Mindy, Robin Williams, man.
Yeah, when he was still young and coked up, it was a good time,
and way
man.
on coke, yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, let's keep it going. The Vampire Diaries. Oh, what the shit fuck is this, man? More shows I've never seen with spinoffs I've never seen. Why do people like vampires so damn much these days? They're a bunch of undead alt-right pieces of shit that are out front to the fucking whale, man.
But that one girl in the middle is a wham.
Yeah,
I forget what her name is.
You know what? No,
I mean,
no, she's a scram.
Is she a vampire?
Right.
Then she's a scram. She's a scram bash if she's a fucking vampire. I will wooden stake this bitch. You know what? Fuck their spinoffs. They're taking off the list.
The guys are always
off the list. I don't think she's wow, you're going off the list for that?
That's right,
wow.
man. And Arrow. I've never seen this, but
the Arrowverse, man. I watched the Arrow shows, and there have been a lot of spin-offs because of it. First one, of course, being The Flash, which is where I started watching The Flash because I've always enjoyed that character, The Flash, you know.
Sure.
And since, you know, there were some crossover episodes, I was like, well, shit, I guess I'll go ahead and watch the Arrow, too. So I started watching Arrow, and the first couple of seasons I really enjoyed because it was pretty much, they wanted to make a Batman television show but couldn't use the Batman IP because they're using that in movies, you know what I mean? So WB said, why don't you just do it with Arrow? So that's basically the same thing. But and it's cool because in the first two seasons it's a little darker, you know what I mean? A little more like
DC.
death and shit like that. Yeah. It lightens up quite a bit after that and kind of gets a little goofy in some areas.
Well, they need
Obviously,
ratings, you know.
CW also, you know, CW is kind of notorious for that kind of stuff.
I'm just saying, when I look at this list, right? And it says the spinoffs include The Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning, Batman, Superman, and Lois. I'm pretty sure most of those characters came before Green Arrow, and aren't these all just DC IPs? Is every MCU movie a spinoff of Iron Man? Fuck no, that doesn't make any damn sense.
Yeah, no, you don't understand.
You're right, I don't understand.
You don't. These characters all showed up in some of these previous shows. Like for instance, the Flash didn't get his show until he showed up in the Arrow. So then they made a show about the Flash. Then in the Flash,
I get that, but like all those characters existed before the show. They didn't create them at that time. Like
this isn't
Joni
about
and Chachi.
Spinning off IPs. This is about spinning off television shows. This is about the show Arrow.
Is it a spin-off, or is it a marketing way for them to say, hey, here's this character you saw on this show. Look, it's got its own show. It's not the same as like,
I'll give you that. Not all crossover episodes make it a spinoff. That's true. Okay.
It was a crossover before the show was
I'm just saying it all existed before TV. You know what? They're coming off the list. Fuck you, Arrow. You're done.
God damn it.
There's like 2 shows on the list.
And here we go. Doctor Who. Okay, before we even get to this, I'm going to assume that it's because they made like 11 different series of this, right? But isn't that the same as Star Trek, where it's not really a spin-off? If I understand how the lore works there. Okay, so Doctor Who comes to Earth to save humanity, and then he ends up getting killed, and then he's in a cave for 3 days, and then he resurrects himself, and then so we celebrate it with eggs and rabbits or something like that, right? Isn't that the story of Doctor Who? I feel like I'm close.
Sir.
I feel like.
You're
no,
close.
wait. I'm sorry. That was Goku. Okay, I'm sorry. My bad. Oh no, wait. Okay, I got it. I know the Doctor Who
I'm
story.
just saying that Doctor Who's not in Torchwood, so Torchwood's a separate show. It's a spin-off of Doctor Who.
Okay, so again, that makes sense to me. Let me see if I understand the lore. Okay, so you're telling me that Doctor Who was the last of his kind, and his parents swaddled him and then sent him in a spaceship to another planet, and because the sun was different when he got to Earth, he had magic powers or something like that? I'm pretty sure. Oh no! Wait, that was John Cena.
Sarah Jane is a different character. See, she was in Sarah Jane Adventures, but also Doctor Who.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That was spin-off.
That was John Cena, not Doctor Who. I almost had it. I was close.
Right,
I was close. Okay, hold on. All right. Now he did have spin-offs. What was it called? The Mary Magdalene Adventures, something like that. All right, Doctor Who can stay on the list.
But
Dr.
Mary Magdalene
Who
was
can
a
stay on the
separate
list.
character. See, you don't understand. She had her own show.
Man, she was a separate character, see? And if you say any otherwise, it'll be curtains. Curtains for the lot of you.
Bitch just sleeping her way to the top, you know?
That's right. All right, let's keep it going. Doctor Who can stay on the list. Up next, Cheers. All right,
That's right.
we're talking.
Okay, now we're talking. One of the best spin-offs of all time, sir, with
What?
Frasier.
Oh, that
of course.
Frasier. 11 seasons on Frasier. Holy shit, man.
Whoa, hold on.
Huh?
Saying Elsewhere and Wings?
Oh, wait,
Are spin-offs
Wings?
of Cheers?
How is Wings a spinoff of Cheers, man?
I know that.
What?
I
know
have
about the
seen
Tortellis.
I have seen the Tortellis, and it's terrible.
Yeah, it's a short-lived,
It's
shitty
terrible.
sitcom about Carla's family. But
Right. So I would say after all of this list that fucking Star Trek, no. Doctor Who, yes. It's the story of Jesus. Fucking cop procedurals, no. 80s sitcoms, yes. So who do you think wins, Phil? I'm gonna leave it up to you. Is it Cheers or is it All in the Family? What do you think?
man, that's tough. You got to throw fucking Happy Days in there too.
Okay, I'll
That
put
was a lot
Happy
of
Days
ones from
on the
Happy
list
Days.
as well, man. What do you think? What was the best show that ever got spun off?
iCarly.
I think
T-Tech,
Cheers.
please.
I think Cheers is the best show and Frasier is the best spinoff. So I gotta go
You
with
heard
Cheers.
him, guys, and that's the Whale's Honest Truth, whether you're dead or alive.